Okay, so today we're going to be diving into the fascinating world of color perception and ultimately how it can impact your paint choices. Did you know the same paint color can look completely different in different lighting conditions? I mean, I would hope you would know that because I talk about it all the time. But in this video, I want to dive a little bit deeper in regards to color and light. Let's look at some of the science behind lighting and color and how it's all impacted inside your home. So the first thing I want to talk about is the role of light, the foundation of color perception. Light is the key to understanding how colors appear. It's a form of electromagnetic radiation, not the dangerous kind, don't worry. I just finished Chernobyl, traumatizing. And light actually travels in waves. The wavelengths of light affect how our eyes perceive color. Different light sources, such as natural light coming through your windows from the big old sun, or your incandescent light bulbs that are perhaps a little bit warm, fluorescent lights, and LED lights that are more cool leaning perhaps and give you that almost bluish lighting. All these light sources emit different wavelengths of light, which can significantly impact how your paint colors look. And not just your paint colors, but also your decor, your furniture, your flooring, everything, even your partner. Now, before we get into the different types of light specifically, don't forget to hit that like button and press that subscribe button if you haven't already. The notification bell is there to be pressed if you want to stay up to date with our content, because we release a bunch of videos every week, and we are doing live streams now. Ooh, scary. Okay, so natural light. The first thing we want to talk about is the impact of direction, because this plays a huge role. Natural light tends to be the most balanced feeling light source. Objectively speaking, the sun is always going to produce the same sort of lighting, but the direction your windows face can significantly impact the quality and the intensity of natural light. And this is what often impacts us as paint color people. When we're selecting colors, which direction your room is facing will drastically impact how those colors will appear. For example, north-facing rooms tend to receive indirect sunlight, which is cooler, and they can make colors appear a little more subdued and kind of blue leaning. The opposite is true for south-facing rooms, which receive fairly direct sunlight, and it tends to be warmer leaning and can make colors appear a little more vibrant and cozy. You then have east-facing rooms, which will receive the most light in the morning. And then, of course, west-facing rooms receive afternoon and evening light, which can actually be quite beautiful, intense, and almost warm and golden. Because if you think about it, the most sunlight you're going to be getting is probably around sunset, which is pretty awesome. But will drastically change the look of the colors in the space. One thing I wanted to touch on was the camera's trickery and the limitations of photography and videos. I wanted to talk about this because I'm obviously talking to you via your screen, whether you're watching it on your phone or your computer. Photos or videos of paint colors can be extremely misleading. Cameras capture color differently than the human eye, and depending on the settings of that camera, it can look completely different in person compared to when that picture was taken. The lighting conditions under which the photo was taken can affect how the color appears, and additionally, the settings on your computer screen can further distort color perception. So for example, a photo of a paint swatch taken under natural light might look different than a photo of the same swatch taken under artificial light. And not to get too technical, but the camera you took that picture with could have the white balance settings adjusted, which could also affect how the color appears. And let's not forget things like filters, screen calibration, color profiles, which can vary greatly from device to device. Technology is awesome, but it can also complicate things and distort reality quite regularly. And then you have these things, eyeballs. Our eyes are incredible tools, but they're not perfect color detectors. Factors like obviously vision, age, and even our individual perception can influence how we see colors. What looks like a perfect match to one person might appear slightly off to someone else. Additionally, our eyes can adapt to different lighting conditions. This phenomenon, known as color adaptation, can make it difficult to accurately assess paint colors. For example, if you spend a long time in a room with predominantly red color scheme, for example, poor you, but let's say you're in a photography dark room, your eyes may start to desensitize to red and perceive it as less intense. It's kind of like this survival response. You're trying to ignore that red. Meaning the same person with the same eyeballs looking at the same color swatch with the same lighting can perceive a color differently depending on the colors they've been looking at before. It's crazy, I know. If you're looking for your own custom palette pyramid from me, check the description down below and press that link whether you need a 3-color palette for a room or a 6 or a 12-color palette for an entire home. We can do that for you. Okay, so what are some tips for choosing paint colors accurately when it comes to lighting? First of all, you got to test your paint at home. Always get paint swatches and test them out in person in the room where you plan to paint. This will help you see how the color looks in your specific lighting conditions, including the natural light that enters the room and, of course, the artificial light that you've filled that room with. And also use your eyes. Don't rely on someone else. Next, you want to consider the time of day. The color of a paint swatch can look different in the morning, afternoon, and evening. Make sure to test swatches at different times of the day to get a true sense of the color. And also consider the time of day that you're most likely to use this room. If you're picking a bedroom color, you probably don't want to prioritize how it looks like in the afternoon unless you're working night shifts. Check it throughout the day, but make sure you like it in the morning and at night, because that's like the prime time for sleeping. You can also rely on technology. So you can get an accurate assessment of color by using one of those color meters, those devices that measure colors accurately. They can be a little bit expensive, but they're valuable tools for professionals and serious DIYers. I wouldn't necessarily rely on them 100% either, but they're a good tool to have just to give you that added layer of security. And then finally, trust your gut. Ultimately, the best way to choose paint colors is to trust your own eyes and your own instincts. I can give you advice, but it has to be up to you, right? If a color makes you feel happy and comfortable, that's the most important thing. You know, understanding the science behind color perception is essential for choosing those right paint colors for your home. You have to consider the effects of light. And also, don't be tricked by things on Pinterest and things taken on Instagram, because it's all fake. But seriously, we're all so different. We perceive colors differently. So the best way to make informed decisions is just to create a space that looks exactly as you envision it. So test your colors at home. Trust your gut. Hope this helps. Don't forget about lighting. Test your colors. I love you.